Cliff.
Greetings, holiday greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another, I think this is 170th episode of Cliff's Notes or something like that. But we have got a very special show for you today. You know, as a realtor, you may have heard that it's AI or die. Well, you're going to find out the truth. We have a very special subject matter expert in artificial intelligence. Carrie Soave is going to join us from the right side of Niagara Falls, coming up right after this. Real estate agents, are you struggling with the day-to-day grind, dialing for dollars, putting in hours of floor time with little to show for it? Are you looking for tips, tricks, and tactics to accelerate your career as an agent that will have you closing more homes, working with more clients, and earning more money than ever before? Hi, my name's Cliff Freeman, and I've spent the past 2 decades of my real estate career running one of the top brokerages in DFW and personally coaching over 1,000 high-performing real estate professionals across North America. I created this podcast to share the strategies and tactics you need to explode your real estate business. I guarantee it. Yes, I guarantee it. And before we get to the guarantee, I must share with everyone, I had the most magnificent evening with my lovely bride and a good friend of ours, Michael Valdez. We were actually at the Star in Frisco on the field. No helmets, no pads, but lots of other fun stuff going on. It was the Jerry Jones Christmas party. And I got to tell you something, Jerry knows how to throw a party. It was absolutely amazing. And Trelvis, I heard many people there speculating that we could see the Cowboys take it home this year. I got to check in with my sports guru here, the man himself. Trelvis, what are the odds looking like now?
You know what? The odds are looking really good. I still don't want to count my chickens before they hatch, though.
You don't want to count your Eagles before they hatch? Yeah.
Not my Eagles either.
The Eagles either. That's it, for sure. Yes. What a great game it was against Philly, though, right, Cedric?
Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
That was very pleasant.
Yeah, it was a good feeling to see them kick the shit out of them. I'm sorry, did I say that? I did. It's my show. I can do that. Yeah, it was a great game.
It couldn't have happened to a better franchise.
Yes, we love it. What a rivalry. You got to love it. But if you're here for football, you're in the wrong place because today it's going to be all about AI. Let's go ahead and bring in Carrie Soave all the way from Niagara Falls on the right side. That's the Canadian side, right? Welcome to the show, Carrie. It's so great to see you again.
Thank you so much for having me, Cliff. And Cliff, I am so happy to be here.
Well, I think, let's see, correct me if I'm wrong, but you and I got to hang out together a little bit in Vancouver earlier this year. We were up there for EXPCon Canada. And my gosh, that was the first EXPCon in Canada. And what a great turnout. That really was impressive. I'm telling you what, I had a great time.
Yeah, and it was only the first one. The next one's going to be even bigger, and they're just going to get larger and larger. The momentum that we have going on up here in Canada for EXP is unbelievable.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. Glenn was on, and you were on the call too. We have an alpha call with Glenn on every other Thursday, and he's not always on the call, don't get me wrong, but he joined us today sort of for the year-end call. And Carolyn Merchant was on there, and Nadia was on there. And we just had, it was like everybody was blown away by the growth that we've seen recently in Canada. What's going on up there?
You know, it's been an interesting year in the market up here. It's been very difficult for a lot of realtors, and they're looking for solutions. Albeit sometimes they're looking for an easy button as opposed to a solution, but they're more open to trying new things. They're more open to the cloud brokerage up here now as opposed to the traditional model. They're looking at it like, what am I getting? What am I getting for all of this money that I'm spending? And let's be honest, you just can't beat this model. It's everything up here right now, and everybody's intrigued.
Well, not only, I've been with EXP for 7 years now. It was around 8 years before that. I mean, you talk about seasoned and, got here all the way here without ever taking any institutional money. I mean, we bootstrapped our way up until we actually had, the only institutional money we had come on board were index funds that were buying us because our stock was so popular and our company was so strong. And we never had to go out to the table to raise equity from investment banks or anything like that. So we've got financially, I mean, we've got the best looking balance sheet of anybody in the business right now. So I think people are attracted. It's a flight to quality that we're seeing down here. A lot of people, everybody's heard about the commission lawsuits here in the United States, and it's really got people wondering how in the heck, if they're an independent broker, how are they going to survive this, just to handle the legal fees alone. I mean, it's really quite interesting. So to be part of a bigger effort here, if you put a whole bunch of small fires together into one big fire, then you've got something that's quite special. Well, all right. So let's get to Carrie. When I met you, I was just blown away with your expertise and your knowledge of, at that time, gosh, that's been how many, 6 months ago, artificial intelligence. And it's come, what is that? They say that the technology doubles every 6 months, or I think that had to do more
Oh
with
yeah.
chips. But since then, catch me up a little bit. I know you're working with Rachel, my COO, and you guys are cooking up some great stuff for our team and
Yeah.
for our attraction efforts. But catch us up here a little bit. What in the world is going on? Is it just Chat GPT, or is there more stuff out there now?
It's so much more. The rate that artificial intelligence is growing is unbelievable. It's hard to stay on top of it, to be honest. But I'm lucky because now it's my job to do this. I'm doing AI consulting and coaching full time now. So I'm able to stay on top of this because if you're a realtor, you're busy running your business. It's impossible for you to do alone. So I'm on top of all of the new tools, all the advancements, all the new features. I actually have, Cliff, I just found this tool last night, and it is a game changer for the AI advancement in the industry. And it's called HyperWrite AI. So up until now, you can create content with AI, but now with this HyperWrite AI, it does the work for you in the background of your browser. It's just wild. And this is just the beginning. Um, they're projecting that AI will be able to work and think on its own at some point in the near future. So I'm really excited about it. It's something I'm super passionate about. So being able to do this full time now at this point is just my ideal life, my living my best life up here.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's great, and we really try to help agents, our audience out there, with cutting edge stuff. I really don't want to get into the, hey, is it ethical or not, and is it going to be bad? Is the world going to blow up, and that sort of thing. Let's really drill down and focus on areas that you're currently working on and that you see in the future where AI is really going to have a great ROI for real estate agents.
Well, basically, right now I have my hands in AI in every part of the real estate business. So I've created a foundation of AI systems that every business needs, every real estate business and every business. And I'll talk about that a little bit later. So going from there, you can implement AI into every piece of your business. So everything from data analysis, predictive analytics, your marketing, your social media content creation, all the way to your algorithms, which I hope we're all kind of using within our CRMs. We already have some AI capabilities in there. And then the last and probably most important one being AI powered automation, which is that's my love right now. So I've pretty much I'm completely AI powered now, and that's what I am putting into other real estate teams, brokerages that I'm consulting with, and teams. And I created this program for realtors as well. It's a digital program, um, pre-recorded, and it kind of just gives them the step by step, because when I hear agents say, "Oh, I've tried AI or I tried Chat GPT and I'm not really getting good results from it," it's because they don't know how to use it properly. So I'm just laying it out there for everybody and teaching them how to use things properly. And then my specialty, Cliff, is workflows and systems. So it's just how my brain works. So I'll either build a prompt stack for an LLM like ChatGPT, or I will take about 4 AI tools and create an entire workflow system for a certain task from beginning to end using all of these tools. So having the AI tools is great, and knowing how to use them is fantastic. You need to. But if you're not careful, you can actually spend more time on AI, and waste more time than before you started using it, which is why the workflows and the systems are so important. So I've got a workflow for content creation for social media, just to kind of give you an example, where we're going to rip off viral content. You don't need to think about what you're going to post. We're going to find somebody in your niche that, their content, their framework and their content is working for them. It's getting views and you're aligning with it. And then we're going to rip it off and remix it into in your own voice, right? And we're going to use from the actual transcription using AI all the way to the creation and posting. I think we're using like 4 AI tools in there. But that's what's actually going to save you time, not the tools in themselves, right? So that's kind of what I specialize in. That's what I've been working on. But I'm super excited because Dev Day in November, that was put on, it was the first convention put on by OpenAI, which is the owner of ChatGPT. I attended that, and they announced a lot of changes, a lot of advancements in AI, just with OpenAI alone, and the ability to create custom GPTs. So I've seen some other realtors doing this, and it's fantastic. I think I've built like 4 of them already. I've got one for listing descriptions where all you have to do is upload your listing pictures and the address, and it is programmed to ask you the right questions, so that it can complete the description for you. I've got one, I call it the real estate COO wizard. And don't tell Rachel, because we're not going to replace her or anything. No, I'm joking. But basically, I'm using a workflow, a prompt stack that I built for data analysis for a realtor's business, where you're uploading market data and you're having a conversation with it to find out who you need to be hitting, which demographic is most likely to buy or sell right now. You're discovering their pain points. You're creating a whole buyer seller persona. You're generating a prospecting plan, ad creative, email, text campaigns, funnel copy, even scripts, objection handling. Like this is what I call building a workflow. Okay. And what I'm doing is I've built a custom GPT that is pre-programmed. So all you have to do is upload that market report, that PDF, and it knows what questions it needs to ask you, and it knows all of the things that it's going to be generating for you, and it guides you along. So we're going from me teaching prompt engineering, prompt stacking, and workflow and systems creation into done for you. Because if you're not advancing in AI, what are you really doing? Like, I don't know. I try to think that way, right?
Yeah, well, I know a lot of agents who've kind of taken a cursory look at it, and it's been a squirrel for them. And I don't know if it's just because they have no direction. I think that has a lot to do with it. And they just can't quite figure out yet. Maybe they don't know enough about their own business to know how to use AI, right? I mean, you have to understand workflows and processes in order to write, AI for that, right? To understand
Mhm.
where you want to go with it. And I got to ask you a favor. I feel like I'm asking a really stupid question, but what the heck is a GPT?
Okay, so ChatGPT, which is owned by OpenAI, is an LLM, which is a large language model. And it's a chatbot that we are prompting and asking questions and getting results from. That's what the general public is using right now, are LLMs like ChatGPT. So a custom GPT is I am building with ChatGPT a custom bot that performs a very specific task. Okay. So when we look at, I feel like the only limitation of AI right now and these LLMs is its vast knowledge, right? So we're going wide, we're not going deep. Whereas, how could we improve that is to go deep and not wide. It just kind of makes sense, right? So now this company has given us the opportunity to create custom GPTs for a purpose that we're choosing. Not everybody can make them. And it does get highly advanced. Like I'm experimenting with actions and APIs right now so that I can actually have work sent out from the GPT to other AI tools and performed and then retrieved again. But that's like a little bit, I feel like that's a little bit deep for our conversation. But basically, you can preload these and program them with information. So, Cliff, one of the GPTs that I built here in Ontario, so I'm in Ontario, Canada, and we have our board, we have our rules, we have our regulations. So I went to our regulatory body and I downloaded all of our standard custom standard clauses and conditions. I'm not sure what you guys call them in the US, maybe like contingencies or something. And I do believe you're not allowed to write them in some areas of the US, but in Canada, we write all of our own custom clauses and conditions. So I downloaded a PDF of those and I uploaded it to a legal GPT, a real estate legal GPT that I've created that helps agents write custom clauses and conditions for their contracts. So, do you see what I mean? You can preload these GPTs with data and train it to perform a specific task very well. Does that answer your
Okay.
question?
I don't know. I'm just sitting here Googling what is a GPT because I really wanted to. Oh gosh, boy, that doesn't get you. It's a generative pre-trained transformer. That's what I was trying to figure out. A
Yeah.
generative pre-trained transformer.
Hmm.
I wonder how many people watching the show knew that. I have no idea. I sure didn't know what that was. So this really, you could. I mean, if you so what you're creating is sort of like templates that you can have customized for clients of yours and show them how to customize them for their own particular business. Then is that kind of a reasonable way to describe it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Completely customized chatbot, AI chatbot.
Okay.
Um, yeah.
And so I mean, I know that there's different price levels. Like for ChatGPT, for example, you can get the regular, which is free, and then and I have the $20 a month version at
Yep,
Mhm.
ChatGPT 4.
GBT 4. So that's like an upgraded version. So the
Yeah.
barrier to entry to AI is pretty low. I mean, even without a budget, if you've got just time, you can go in and start figuring this stuff out, right? But
Yeah.
what you don't want it to do is be a replacement and take time out of your prospecting and money
Yeah.
generating activities, right? So why would it make sense? I mean, I think I just answered my own question here, but explain to me a little bit about why it makes sense to look for somebody like you who's taken hours and hours and hours and hours to become an expert. and engage you to help? What kind of an outcome? I know you said it would save them a lot of time, but let's talk about some of the other benefits here as well. Whether it's business building, recruiting. You said you're involved
Mhm.
in all aspects of people's business.
Yeah.
Let's go through a few more here. Like, let's say, for example, lead generation.
Oh,
How are
yeah.
you using AI in lead gen right now?
It is in every part of my lead gen, every single part from how I'm choosing who I'm targeting to generating ads and content to attract, to generating lead magnets, funnels, follow up, and then, automation as much as you can, as well as right now I'm building a custom GPT that is going to work as a chat bot. It's going to talk to leads and convert them into appointments. And it's going to be preloaded with information about my company so that it can answer questions from these leads. But its sole purpose is to get them to a meeting, right?
Okay.
So it's helping with everything. So you're not having any leads fall through the cracks. What is the number one thing that like realtors hate doing is lead follow up, and I don't really understand that, but I feel like they will avoid it at all costs.
Sure. Yeah.
And if we can give them a bot that they can preload with information from their website that will reach out when it's programmed to and have full conversations with these leads and then have those leads booked into phone calls with the agent. So now it's not on the agent to hustle this as much. I mean, it might be a little bit more attractive for agents who don't like cold calling because I know, it's not really cold calling, but I feel like it is when it's a lead anyways, especially an online lead. It's pretty cold, right? Nobody
Yeah,
wants to talk to you.
for sure.
So I feel like it'll help that way quite a bit, very significantly.
Yeah, so it sounds like it's really totally scalable. In other words, I guess, if you got a referral from a friend of yours or a relative, you wouldn't let the chatbot handle that. You'd go ahead and pick up the phone, call the referral, introduce
Yeah.
yourself, build rapport, because that's way down the funnel. But if you're picking up top of funnel pay-per-click leads, for example, people who are
Yeah.
just beginning their search, and
Mhm.
you have no idea what their time frame motivation is or any of that sort of thing, and you realize that if you're good, you might convert 2 or 3, maybe 4% of them on a great day, then you can definitely scale a database that's got thousands of those leads
Yeah.
by using AI
Yeah.
to, text them, email them, contact them. Are you having AI? Like, can you just ask it to say, hey, generate a 24-month touch campaign for leads that come in looking in the Toronto area or
Absolutely.
whatever?
I have AI doing everything for me. Everything I'm generating. I'm even taking my current systems I had before AI, and uploading them and figuring out how critiquing them and improving them. Everything I create from keynote speeches, presentations, workshops, anything, I'm uploading it to Chat GPT. We're having a conversation about how I can make this better. It's making suggestions and I'm having them change it too as well.
Yeah, yeah. Well, there's not a whole lot of stuff that's original anymore in the real estate business. And
Yeah.
we always used to have a saying, and that was, you don't have to be the smartest kid in the room, just sit next to the smartest kid in the room, right? And R&D doesn't stand for research and development. It stands for rip off and deploy. It sounds like that Chat GPT and these other AI tools are really perfect for doing that. The way you were describing finding an avatar out there somewhere that is, as close to what you want to be as possible, and then just having the AI recreate that around your persona is mind blowing. It's like
Yeah.
crazy.
Cliff, I've built a GPT that talks to me like Tony Robbins would. And the beauty is I didn't even have to preload it with any of Tony Robbins' info because there's so much available out there.
Mm.
I gave the GPT web access, so it can just comb the web. Like it's amazing. But really, when I'm giving it a task to perform, especially when we're doing the quarterly business plan and we're getting down to the follow up and generating the campaigns for email and text outreach. And then I generate a script. I'm asking it to channel somebody specific. So I might say, channel like Grant Cardone's super aggressive, what would this look like? How many times a day should this person be called? Little things like that. It's really just, this isn't replacing us. This is giving us unlimited amount of knowledge. See?
That's just incredible. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
my brain has trouble fathoming how far it could go. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
And it's been said that ChatGPT is going to replace Google as far as the search engine that's used in today's world.
well, I would believe it. I mean, YouTube is number 2.
Yeah.
Is the number 2 search engine behind Google right now.
Yeah.
And it's because it's just more robust. And what's the Google's actually got an AI tool, BART, built into it.
Bard,
so-
it's with a D, and I've been
Bard,
playing
okay.
around with it. Because I'm in Canada, I don't have normal access to it, but I got access to it. Um, there's ways around everything. I'm not overly impressed. Um, it will analyze pictures, but I can't have it analyze data yet. So I believe for a real estate agent, ChatGPT is definitely the way to go because I can upload so much information and have full conversations with documents. I find that invaluable as an
Oh.
agent. Like Cliff, what I'm doing with your COO, that's what we're going to do. It's all going to be based around data analysis, numbers, stats, and I think that that's where you should always start no matter what you're creating. So that's where the workflows come into play. Bang out everything in your business in an afternoon for the year. It's just, if you start with the data, everything you're doing and everything you're creating for your business is going to be hyper targeted.
You said a minute ago that Bard was not available in Canada. What's the deal? Are there privacy laws? Are there, I know
I
that
don't know.
Europe and Canada can kind of get off into their own world, but
So
are other AI tools not available in Canada as well, or do you find yourself limited because of where you are?
no, it's so far it's just Bard and Claude. So Claude is in the UK, I believe. They're in Europe. I could not access them through my VPN though because they have a trigger where you have to confirm a phone number, and obviously my phone number. There's ways around everything, but just for quick access, no. I was able to get around Bard a lot quicker than Claude. But OpenAI is just, I call it the holy grail of AI. That company, ChatGPT, is just the holy grail of AI. And you don't need any other tool. So there are a lot of niche specific tools out there. I look at about 20 of them a week. They're performing a specific task, or they're there for a specific purpose, whether they're an AI powered Chrome extension or a plugin for Chat GPT, or an app in itself or a website in itself. But I only really find use in maybe one every month that I'll add to my repertoire. Because we got to remember, number one, these are startup companies. So they're not going to be great at the beginning. And number two, all of these tools are powered by ChatGPT. So
Interesting.
I'm a firm believer in learn the system. We have agents and coaches out there handing you prompts and tools on a silver platter. Here you go. This is what I'm selling you. I really hope nobody ever buys prompts because I believe teaching somebody the framework and how to prompt engineer properly is 1,000 more times valuable because then it's unlimited potential, right?
Yeah. So with that in mind, because
Mhm.
we've bumped into, it seems like now there's a guy on the corner that holding up a sign that says AI and I can help and all that kind of stuff. I want you to explain to us and to our audience a little bit about what differentiates what you do and the way that you work with your clients compared to some of these
Mhm.
gurus that it appears that they're just into selling an online coaching program and you don't really get a lot of direct contact with them. You're a little bit more involved with your clients from that level, aren't you?
Yeah. So I do have a pre-recorded program, but I give people access to me a couple hours a week on a live forum so I can answer questions, help strategize, whatever they need,
Mhm.
right? Um, I think it's important. So I started out, Cliff, as a social media coach. I've generated my all of the business in my entire career from my SOI or social media. I've been on social media for 14 years generating business. So I've been coaching social media for so long, one on one. And the reason even got involved with AI is because some of my coaching clients, like, it's hard. Social media and putting yourself out there is so
Mm.
hard. And I thought, oh, this is a shiny new object. Maybe I can use this to make life easier for my people in social media. And that's kind of like how it all began. But being a career student and the background that I have, I just quickly went down that rabbit hole and generated entire systems and it's not madness, right?
Right. Well, but this is part of your DNA, though. I mean, you and I were
Yeah,
talking a little bit before the show. You said you're a lifetime student. Um,
yeah.
Give us a little bit of the backstory here, and I mean, we look at you now. You're very successful. You were a social media coach. You're a SME now, and AI, real estate. Just reached a level of success that very few people can obtain. But what was it like for Carrie back when you were in those formative years? What was it that got you, first of all, interested in real estate? Can you share that with us?
Yeah, so I should mention that I went to school a handful of times. I went for fashion, business, pharmacy, and then real estate. Okay, I am a I'm a career student. When I say that, I don't say it lightly. I wanted to learn everything. When I was done with pharmacy, I wanted to take poli sci. It's just if I could be in school right now, I would be, but I am. So that's why I'm loving what I'm doing right now. But I got into real estate because if you want the honest answer, I wanted to make a lot of money. I didn't really know any realtors. I didn't know what it involved. I went in like everybody else thinking it would be easy and just like a cash cow. And I want to say I got lucky, but I probably didn't get lucky. I was a very social person. And I was using social media right from day one, right from when it was just Twitter and it was just words to pictures on Instagram and now video. And it's something I'm good at. Um, that's why I love what I'm doing right now because, like, when people ask me, like, what my ideal life would look like, it would look like this. From any in the where in the world, I can just study and learn more and more about what I wanna learn about, and then share it with everybody else. And that's literally what I'm doing right now, which is great. Everyone's like, "Oh, but you're updating your course every month, like, that's a lot of work." Number 1, algorithms, social media, new AI tools. This is changing so quickly. If you're not doing that, you're going to be irrelevant in 6 months. And number two, this is what I enjoy doing. I want to build and build and build and build. It's how my brain works. Like my brother is a career student too. My mother was a professor. He's got a PhD in biostat math. I'm finding we're aligning a lot more now because like analytics, right? But yeah, and so with my program, I incorporate database management, social media, and AI for your whole business. And I was told I should separate them, and I said no, because AI is great, but unless I can teach you how to use AI to actually generate business, whether it's through database, funnels, and social media, what good is it to anybody?
Right.
So I will never separate my program up.
Mm.
And if, you know, yeah, it doesn't make sense. It's like giving somebody tools without showing them how to use them or what to use them for. I'm building entire systems. All three incorporate together. You can't separate them, or now you're not generating money. Does that make sense?
No, it does. And at the end of the day, that's what it's all about.
Right. We don't
is-
want to just sign up for some course and go through it and feel more confused. When we finish it, we want
Right.
to have, some ROI with the investment that we make and, feel more in control in the process versus, you know, being more confused.
Yeah, and then we got
Yeah.
automation too as well. That's a huge part. That's the last module. And it needs to come into play because you can't scale without automation,
Mhm.
right?
That's important.
So people will buy my program if I just teach them AI. That's fine. But what are they learning and how's that going to advance their business? They're just learning the new thing and that's going to wear off soon. I'm going to teach them how to generate money
Teaching them how to fish.
with AI.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the meat of the coconut.
I think that's all of realtors' problems is they haven't been able to crack that because every course that's offered on AI is always trying to upsell you into something else, and it's just there's not really
Yeah.
a specific program for realtors that creates that ROI. It really kind of is self-discovery for the most part on the agent's
Yeah.
behalf.
But you say, and you're you're still selling real estate, right, Carrie? A little bit or a lot or?
Yeah, like I do commercial and residential. I'm in the process of starting to build a team right now because I'm listing commercial properties, selling them and listing residential properties, and I'm not able to do the work to multiply that business. So I'm like, this is such a waste. This is such a huge waste. And it makes me so ill to think about because you should be generating like 5 sales from one listing. And I can't do that. I don't have the time and I don't have so that's why I'm building a team right now to help me with that. Um, but yeah, this is it. One of the big things is bringing AI to your clients, right? So yeah, it's great to streamline your own business and save you time and save you money and massively optimize everything you're putting out there. Fantastic. But how is this all going to help your clients? So I cover that as well. I give them a whole listing presentation where they're explaining to their clients like how their knowledge in social media marketing and their AI systems are going to help that seller, or that buyer. So
I mean,
That's huge.
well, yeah, and you've got to be able to articulate the value for sure. Yeah, I mean
Especially in especially with all
this market and stuff.
right.
Oh my
You
God,
gotta be able
yeah,
to articulate your value
Yeah.
very well.
yeah.
And making sure that your seller knows that you're going to get the end result done, which is getting the home sold.
Right,
Right.
right.
For the-
And the key, I mean, especially if you're a buyer agent, I mean, there's a target on your back right now by all these,
Oh yeah,
and I don't want to get into that, but
let's not do that.
you know, it's conceivable that buyer agents are going to have to figure out a way to get paid by their clients, the buyers, instead of by the sellers. And in order to do that, you have really got to be able to show a value purpose, a value stack of why is it that are you just an Uber driver with a key to a lockbox, or what is it that you're going to do to be able to really help me get the best selection of homes and the best price and make it as easy as you can for me.
Yeah.
I
I
was going to
feel
ask
like
you if
for
you wanted to.
buyer agents,
Uh-huh.
yeah, I feel like for buyer agents, you could create a system around communication with other realtors. Like, I don't know how things work in the US, but obviously access to off-market properties, is that like a thing down there?
It's becoming more of a thing,
Yep.
especially with EXP,
Okay.
because we're one broker. We can take office listings, office exclusives now, and just
Yeah.
market them in our office
Internally.
Mhm.
internally without having to put it up on MLS or we have our own internal MLS now, essentially an EXP MLS. And the rules don't force us to put that on the national multiple listing service or anything like that, as long as we're not marketing it to the general public. We just market it to
Yeah.
people who have hired us to find properties for them. So it's kind of like a
Okay.
private client group, right?
And so what's important for that? Like if you're a buyer agent and you want access to off-market exclusive listings, the importance would be your relationships with other realtors. And could AI help you with your communication with them and building those relationships? 100%.
Okay.
Um, yeah, there's so many different ways that it could help with your social media. Like just between you and me, I keep all of my commercial properties off market.
Mm.
If I bring it to an investor, the first question out of his mouth is going to be, is this on MLS? If it is, I don't want to see it. So that's kind of how we operate up here, especially with commercial real estate. And that's how I built my social media to begin with, was by keeping my commercial off market and on my social media, so that you had to follow me and watch my content to know what was going on. It's a really good attraction as well, using
Mhm.
AI with your social media to bring in buyer clients for that reason, investors. There's so many possibilities.
Mm. No, it's just like I said, I drown in the thoughts. I'm just trying to,
Yeah. So
look at a part of my business. So
let's
what were
real
you going
quick.
to
Let's
ask?
we got a
Yeah.
few minutes left. Let's drill down on some, uh, you know, interesting topics when it comes to lead generation. And you were talking about AI bots. Do you, currently have one that you would recommend for agents to look at for helping them with their lead generations? For instance, like, our real estate team, a lot of that is done manually and through campaigns that have been created. But I've seen recently where agents, do lead generation on Facebook, and then they have that AI plugin connected to the chat feature of their
Mhm.
CRM, to where when a lead comes in, that AI bot reaches out to them and can hold and continue a conversation for as long as it needs to go, as up until the appointment setting point. Are you currently working with clients right now that have a chat bot that you would recommend, or are you working on one yourself, or what does it
I'm
look
working
like?
on one myself. I've got it built. I'm just automating it so it can be integrated into any CRM, because that's really the key. I don't want to be recommending something that is, only and you have to buy this CRM to use it. So I'm almost done it. I don't even have a name for it. But if people listen, I'm heavily active on social media, obviously. Like I'm pumping out 2 to 3 videos a day. I am sharing so much AI free tips and content and updates. I would say the best thing, just follow me, because you're going to learn something. You're going to hear about the best tools. You're going to know about the algorithm changes. So I think that that's probably the best way to do it. Um, yeah.
Wow.
That's exciting.
Yeah. I mean, we used to do stuff with ManyChat back in the day, 3 or 4 years
I
ago,
remember that.
and
Yeah,
it just was
it was
did I tell you about the
it
time
was a business killer, is what it
yeah,
was.
yeah, we had a lead come in one time and I watched the
That's
text.
right.
And the lead said, "Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm going through a horrible divorce, and I just don't,
ManyChat.
yeah, and blah blah blah." And the chatbot responded back, "Well, congratulations on your divorce. Let's see if we can get you a house." It's like, it
Oh
was,
my
yeah, right.
God.
So anyway, they've come along. Chat, technology has come a long way.
Significantly.
Yeah,
Yeah, and it happens to get better as time goes on and very quickly with that timeline too.
yeah. But it's still garbage in and garbage out, isn't it? I mean,
Right.
if you if
Yeah.
you're
That's why we're
loading,
trying to seek the best
Yeah.
person to get the information from.
yeah, absolutely, it's critical to have the right person at the helm. You're right, the right coach leading you through the
Right.
all
Because you
this
could be
stuff.
spinning your wheels on nonsense and crap that people are just trying to get a quick buck on. So
There's a lot of those out there. A
And,
lot of
yeah, we've
snake
been
oil
hearing that.
salesmen in there.
we've been hearing that recently with some of
Yeah.
our, folks in the real estate community that, it's like, I went to this AI class and it wasn't even related to real estate. It's like, that's what they sold me on.
Yeah.
Can you believe that?
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
or
geez.
certifications.
Sad.
Yeah.
Sad.
You guys, I have a free webinar every month, and every month I do it on a different aspect of a realtor's business. Like on the 14th, I did like social media and AI. Before that, I did AI automation. The one before, like I do something different all the time. And Cliff, ManyChat, just so you know, what I'm building, the purpose of the GPTs is to build something that's preloaded with your company's information and then integrating it with ManyChat.
Mhm.
So now it's got a knowledge base,
Right.
right?
MidChat's not a bad
So
platform.
No, yeah, I just
I
don't-
wasn't trying to allude that
Yeah.
it was. Yeah, but
No,
it's
no, no,
garbage
no,
in,
no,
garbage
no.
out. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
it's all about these building it pre-loaded with
Yeah.
as much knowledge as possible, and brings me back to the GPTs,
Yeah.
the custom GPTs, right? And why they're so great. The best
Right,
thing
right.
going right
Yeah.
now.
and we are at the top of the hour, guys, so we're going to
Yeah.
have to wrap here. But Carrie, if you would give our audience a way to reach out to you if they want to learn more. Tell us about where they can watch your webinar, your website, maybe to contact you personally.
Contact me on any platform, guys. My name is Carrie Soave. I'm on every single platform. You can find me. DM me. I'm super open, really easygoing. Ask me anything you like.
Wow, you can't beat that.
No, that was pretty easy.
Yeah, well, your phone's probably going to blow up now, or your DM, your inbox anyway. But thank you. You are such a giver. I mean, you've been very generous today, and given us some tips and tricks and tactics to get that AI working in our business. But I think the next step for a lot of the people in our audience is going to be reaching out to you directly to see where this thing can actually go. So, Carrie, it's great to see you again since we were together in Canada last, I guess over the summer, wasn't it? Yeah, it's been a
Next
while.
EXPCon Canada is coming up May 8th.
May 8th through the 10th. That's
Yeah.
right. We'll be back there in Toronto to hang out with you. That's a great town, I understand. And we hope that you guys have a wonderful holiday up there, a great New Year. And would you mind if we got back with you in a few months here to do a checkup from the neck up and get an update?
100%.
This is changing so fast. We'd love to have you back on to stay on top of it.
Absolutely. I am here for you guys, just like you are there for everybody in your organization.
Well, we appreciate that, Carrie. Thank you very much. C3, we got to go hop on a plane, man.
Jet setters.
Yeah, we got to go to Scottsdale for a little holiday party there for ComLoan. But Carrie, gosh, it was great to have you on the show. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here as well. If it wasn't for you watching, then there'd be no need for us. So
That's exactly
we feel
right.
very special and send you much love from Lincoln Center. So
We'll
gonna be
see
back
you
on
next week. Yeah.
Yeah, we are. That's right.
Yes.
No holiday next week for us. No rest for the weary. We'll be back here next week, right on the same channel, Cliff's Notes. So tune in every Thursday where we'll give you the tips, tricks, and tactics to explode your business. I guarantee it.